Previously on GallStar TV.
Car slowed down one number from the first to the second. I just did 2 back-to-back hits, and I'm pretty sure I was on a high 83 on one of them and a low 87 on the next. Car was throwing me some curveballs. It's not like my car. Double entered, I'd go up and make a pass, it'd be like an 87.7, come back on the double, and we're running like an 83.5. Like, that is not like my car. We didn't lay a finger on this car. We didn't change nothing but the oil. What's up, guys? We're heading back to Cedar Falls for the SFG 350 event this weekend. We're taking the Suburban. We've left the rig down here in Iowa for about 3 weeks in a row now, I believe. And so we're going to be actually doing a little bit of maintenance, a little bit of a repair work to the dragster today. Something that we typically would like to do inside the garage, but with the price of fuel and everything else that's going on, we've decided to leave the rig down here in Iowa, and we're going to be changing some valve springs on the race car when we arrive here at the racetrack. The old man has got all the pieces, he's got all the tools, we got everything but the kitchen sink in the back of the Suburban here. Hopefully get it put together and ready to go racing tomorrow. Just made a time hit here today. I had my camera settings wrong. Thank goodness I checked it, so I got that corrected. Went 480 with a 1, but I think everybody's a little faster this weekend. So we made a lot of changes, went through a lot of stuff, went through everything. Man, we changed plugs, we changed wires, we checked the fuel filter, went through the carburetor, checked all the valves, springs, did everything, did a lot, and I don't think it changed anything, but. We did just put up a 480, but we're going to be heading up here for round number 1 shortly. So at this point, the car has developed a huge stumble right at the hit, which is very concerning considering all the things that we had just, fixed up and changed, like all the plugs and the wires and all of that stuff. So we took the car back to the pits and thrashed for a while. We completely drained the fuel tank. We cleaned out the lines, checked the fuel filter again. We were fortunate enough to have a completely second, brand new Get 'em carburetor on the shelf, so we were actually able to just change out the carburetor entirely and get all of that done in time to make it back around for the re-entry round. And of course, through all this thrashing and having the scoop off and the tray off and the dial-in board and everything else disassembled, I must have forgotten to plug the dial-in board back in, as what you're seeing here is mass confusion between the track personnel and myself. I do not know what the issue is. Thank you so much to Tucker Canceller, who came up and helped out and remedied the situation and plugged my dial-in board back in, as I had no clue what the issue was or why they could not read my dial-in board or reset my dial box like a million times.
What?
Time.
Huh?
Time.
483. Is it not on the board or what?
Did you have the scoop off when you were working on the carburetor?
Oh, I didn't plug it back in. It's 483. I'm sorry.
that was on me. Between all that thrashing, forgot to get that dial-in board plugged back in, so don't make the same mistake as me.
483? Yeah. 483. Sorry, dude.
You're good.
Is it working now?
Yep.
Thanks, man.
The fiber just pulled right out.
And all of that for nothing. And frustration levels are now very, very high.
Yeah, I'll leave them until the motor's closed up.
I was very happy with that.
You gotta do this. But I only ran it just a short time and it ate a lifter, so I had to put new cam on. Now you just set the intake on for a while, is that what we're doing?
Well, unless you guys want to glue the intake, but I usually just set it on and let it tack up. It's warm enough, it won't take long. There you go.
I'm just hoping that fixes it. That's that.
But you said you found it, right?
Oh yeah, the gasket will suck, but
Well, then that's...
I know. I just don't seem to have any luck with this anymore. We used to not touch this stuff all year.
Yep.
Everything
Everything you
goes
left your dial board, I seen somebody trying to plug it in or something?
Well, when I changed the carburetor on the last go, I forgot to plug everything back in, so then Tucker plugged it in for me. Then I did a burnout, shook the tires really bad, busted the dial board bracket off, busted the bolt off, so I had to get that unthreaded. It's like, god dang. Alright guys, it is Saturday. It is cold out today, but of course yesterday we had all kinds of grief with the car stumbling off the starting line. Tried a couple few different things. You know, originally the suspect was the carburetor. We were fortunate enough to have an entire brand new Get-'em carburetor identical to what I run sitting on the shelf. We swapped the entire carburetor out and did the exact same thing. So that ruled out every single possibility of it being anything to do with our carburetor. And what we ended up finding out with the bore scope is that we had an intake gasket that got sucked in, creating a vacuum leak and creating all kinds of issues. So, tore the intake off yesterday, put in some new intake gaskets, let it sit overnight. Hopefully the goop is good and cured and dry enough. We're a little bit worried about that, but it looks like we're gonna be okay. The car is good and warm, it's warmed up, it's ready to go. We're gonna be rolling into round number 1, and I have no idea what this car's gonna run. Dad, what do you think that car's gonna run now that it's fixed and it's cold outside?
I don't know, Tom. So I hope you're back in them low 70s, but I ain't gonna say it's gonna happen.
Right. I'll just be happy if it's a little bit more consistent. A little bit more consistent and we're getting off the line. That's the priority right now.
Yeah, right.
Computer's telling me it's 63 degrees. I'm telling you it feels colder than 63. I don't know if I just got the chills, if I don't know what's going on, but it feels cold. We got 1,900 feet of altitude today. I guess with how little information I have, and being that a 480 is the fastest that the car's ever gone this year, I guess I'm gonna dial 480. I don't really know what other options I have right now at this point with no time hits.
left for the win. Tom Gall's car, I heard stumble. Took a little breather there, so he goes 9 over.
I can't believe it. I don't know what to do. I honestly thought those intake gaskets were it and it was fixed. I don't know what else it could possibly be, and there's not enough time to make any changes between entry 1 and entry 2. So at this point, I'm just going to dial it way up and just see if I can somehow, some way get a win light on so I can get another chance to at least try to fix it.
Separates him. Anthony 1 thou under on the double breakout victory. Tom Gall 41 under, not good. Winner left lane Anthony Lane.
Clearly that was an absolutely horrible job at trying to execute finish line driving properly. I have a leftover re-entry sticker from yesterday that I didn't use. I probably should have not bought it in the first place, but I'll probably roll back around for the re-entry round. But honestly, I don't know what to change, don't know what to do differently. Just try this again, I guess.
Tom Gall goes 6 on the tree, but slows down to be 5 over. Ray Thompson, 32, dead 3, good enough for the win, taking 29 thou at the stripe and moving on to round 2.
It is now Sunday. We have had rain delays. They are finishing Saturday's race, and we still don't have the car sorted out. So it is not anything in the carburetor. The intake gaskets definitely needed replacing. It seems like after we did that, it moved the stumble from right on the hit to about 30 feet after the hit. It seems to be falling down on its face inconsistently, sometimes worse than other times. And we've changed a lot of ignition parts just because we do not have any more ideas. So we're running out of ideas. Now we've changed a fuel pump, and we're just hanging out here. It's getting probably noon on a Sunday. They're still completing Saturday's race. We're mainly hanging out so that we can get one more hit on this car and see if it is fixed or not. Am I right?
Yeah.
Have we been working on this hot rod this weekend?
Yeah, a lot.
Chris can cheer left side. I think I hear a car stalling. That would have been the right side. Tom Gall. I thought I heard the car stumble. Left lane 22 and 4 over for the win. Tom Gall gets to buy back if he figures out the stumble.
All right, guys, it's not good. It's not a good weekend. I mean, literally, the property is starting to clear out. Property's starting to clear out, and I still haven't even made a clean hit this weekend. I'm not sure what's going on. It's definitely, we thought it was the fuel system. Now we don't. I don't know. The last thing, I mean, we've changed absolutely everything. We took the ignition box out. The only remaining way for me to learn anything this weekend is through the old man's car. The old man still has one entry in. We took the ignition box out of my car, thinking maybe that's what's causing the issues. We put it in his car. So he's gonna go up for round number 2, and we're hoping this thing stumbles flat on its face. I mean, it's weird, but we just gotta learn and know something. We're tired of it. Oh, baby. That's what we needed. Down Broadway. It wasn't the ignition box. We brought the car back home. The following week, the old man changed out the converter, which I know it doesn't make sense that it'd be the converter, but we're running out of ideas. And then he went through the carburetor again. We think what ended up happening is the intake gaskets were creating the stumble. In the midst of trying to correct things while finding that stumble, we screwed up the carburetor settings and the float levels. So then when we finally did correct the intake gaskets, the stumble existed for that reason. When the old man got the car back home, he went through the entire carburetor, like I said, changed converters. We headed back to Eddyville for 777, dropped the trailer door just to find more cracks in the chassis, this time on the back end of the chassis. So flipped the trailer door back closed and didn't get to figure anything out that weekend. At least I ended up getting to drive that Mullis.
.007 for Tom Gall. Dead zero 7-pack right there in a borrowed car.
Link down in the description to that video. But what a super frustrating season. Came back home, fixed the car. Now the car has a completely new front half and a completely rebuilt, completely stronger, better tubing, more tubing on the back half as well. We're able to take the car out local, did some testing, and thankfully the problem was fixed, just to take it back out to Tri-State Raceway a couple weeks later, where we broke the camshaft. That's my season in a nutshell. It sucks. Didn't get a lot of racing in, but fortunate enough to have Old Black and got some good laps and got some good races in under the belt with Old Black to close out the 2022 season. Grief does happen. We don't have everything figured out. We have our share of troubles, and we have our share of seasons that are just completely trouble seasons, like 2022 was for me. So if you're going through that, if you're having issues, if you're having one of those seasons, don't give up. Work through it. You'll figure it out. This is not an easy sport, but there is a ton of incredibly smart and supportive people within this sport. So make sure you reach out to someone. Keep your head up if you're going through something like what we did in 2022. Hopefully, you guys were able to enjoy this mess of a video. More content to come soon. Thank you guys so much for liking, commenting, subscribing, all the things you do, and especially
supporting the GallStar TV swag shop. That is the biggest way that you can help support the creation of more videos just like this one. You guys are awesome. See you in the next one. Later.